All right, looks like we are live. Welcome back, everybody. Make yourselves comfortable. Hopefully, you can hear me. We are going to be diving back into Abby and Libby's case, also known as the Delphi murders. I think we're going to make this more of a Q&A. What's up, Ziggy? So, this will be more of a chat-based live stream. I feel like I owe you guys that from time to time. Miss Dog Lover, what's up? Yep, we're great. Had a doctor's visit today. Everything looks good. Couple vaccines, nothing too serious. What's up, Jody? Just the usual stuff. What's going on with you? Jody, Lynn, Miss Dog Lover, and Ziggy. And everybody else that's out there lurking, watching, hanging out, working, listening on their earbuds, maybe laying in bed, watching it on the big screen, maybe cooking some dinner. You know, you got the phone over here to the side, little sleuth intuition action. Maybe laying down with the baby. Miss Dog Lover. I'm a lady of leisure. Now, since I was made redundant, lots going on selling my apartment. Ooh, so you're busy making power moves. What's up, Redfoot? I don't think anybody can make you redundant. I think that's something only you can do to yourself. What's going on, Redfoot? I've been watching protesters. Oh, yeah, me too. This shit is crazy. It reminds me of what they call it. I think they called it the Summer of Love. Was the BLM protest where they killed a couple cops and burned down Minnesota. And then local politicians would bail them out of jail. I was like, what the hell is going on here? That's when I knew we were in trouble. And it looks like more of the same. More of that is what I'm seeing. See, Jody, gotcha. Laying around, right? Laying in bed, maybe have the windows open that have some cold air coming in. Maybe you guys have a glass of wine. Maybe you rolled yourself a doobie. Mind if I do a J? There you go. Changes in the wind. Yeah, this is the winter of love. Companies letting a lot of people go. A lot going on in the background. Did you guys enjoy your MLK day? Do you guys have to work, go to school, anything? It's all we can do. Get busy living or get busy dying. I don't think there is really an in between there. Yeah, the one I was watching is the Daily Discourse with Arturo. He's another bald dude with a beard like us. Shout out to the bearded guys out there. What up, fellas? What is MLK Day? Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I think they're trying to change it into Civil Rights Day or something like that. Next, they're going to try to tell you that Malcolm X wasn't a conservative. What will they come up with next? So, what's the buzz around the Delphi campfire? Looks like Tom Webster. It looks like he was able to shut a lot of people up. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, I think with every case, any speculation, there comes a time, put up or shut up. We've reached that time with the Odinism and I think with the Klein stuff. Because the only way you're ever going to get any of that out there and to prove any of it, one way or the other, is you have to do the legwork. Got to be boots on the ground. You have to be interviewing people. You have to have access to records. I mean, you probably could do it from behind a keyboard through the internet if you're really creative, but it's going to be pretty difficult. Same thing should be said for like Brad Holder's alibi. What are you going to do? Just continue to argue about it? Well, he could have done this and he could have done that. All right. Well, show it to me. Otherwise, you got to shut up. At some point, the speculation must end and you got to put up or shut up. That doesn't mean stop looking for a way to put up, right? Don't stop your investigation. And then when you find something and you're able to put up, then you don't have to shut up. Betsy walk the trail. What's up, caricature? Bothers me. Betsy walked the trail 7 times and never saw Richard Allen on the bench. He said he was on because he was actually hurting the girls. Well, I mean, let's think about that. Here, I might have something very easy for us too. I think I put Betsy, Kelsey, and Sarah all on like one image. Let me see if I have it handy. Yeah, here it is. Betsy and Kelsey, I think is the one I'm looking for. I think this might help us with your question/comment here. Boom. Okay, so we have Betsy Blair arriving at 12:02, but she's gone at 1:15. So maybe she's missing Rick right around that time. So between 12 and 1:15, she didn't see Rick one time. So you're not going to hear any of the hybristophiliacs bringing that shit up. You saw Tom up there smacking them around with that information. They're not going to touch that. How do you explain that? All right. And then she comes back at 1:46. So between 1:46 and is that Betsy Blair? Okay, and 2:18. 1:46 and 2:18. You mean to tell me she didn't see Richard Allen? Oh, wait a minute. She did. That's right. And he saw her too. That's why he couldn't lie about being on the first platform. The only things that Richard Allen confessed to were instances of him running into somebody or being witnessed. He felt obliged to do it, I guess, as part of his countermeasure logic, his thought process, right? If they recognize me, that's okay, right? Because even my wife knows that I'm on the trails. It's okay to be on the trails. It's just not okay to be the killer. So I'll admit, to being there until 3. That's when I saw Sarah Carbaugh, right? I wasn't muddy and bloody because I had my jacket off and it was just my brown hoodie. And I think she just caught him crossing the street. She just got lucky. He came running out, through the cemetery or through Ron Logan's property and ran across the street like fucking Bigfoot. Just got caught. Miss Dog Lover says Tom did a great job. He did. I got that from Tom. Hey, Sleuth. Yeah, it's good to see you. What are you up to? How was your weekend? Did you get a 3-day weekend or no? But hopefully that answers your question or helps with your comment there. So between 12 and basically 1:15, and that's Richard Allen's revised timeline. He said, "Oh, wait a minute. My memory is skipping me." Right? And don't forget, it's okay when Richard Allen's memory kind of fluctuates. But God forbid the girls, God forbid they get it wrong. If they don't remember things precisely, it means doubt. But for Richard Allen to be a little bit forgetful, maybe I was wrong about the 1:30 to 3. I think it was really more around 12, to be honest. So that's okay, but the girls kind of getting it wrong. Betsy kind of getting it wrong with the car. Oh, let's also talk about how Richard Allen can look young. I keep hearing people saying that that's impossible. Here, let me prove you wrong. Okay. So before Kathy deleted her Facebook out of embarrassment, and I don't blame her, Rick was all over it, popping up, stopped showing up December of 2016, and then popped up out of nowhere in 2018. So right around the time the murders happened, nothing of Rick is anywhere on Kathy's Facebook. I don't think that's something that she did. I think that that's something that Rick did. He just stayed away from cameras. What's up, Shelby? Same day. Same person, same day. There's your young sketch right there. Pink. There's Betsy Blair just looking just for a moment. Who's this fucking guy? Turns around. I think I got a shit again. But tell me this. If you walked into the bar and saw this man, walked around the corner, came back and saw this guy, you're not going to think it's the same person. These photographs were taken minutes apart. But because he's looking upward and in that 2 o'clock, I mean, that's just like 2 o'clock sun right there. No face covering because he's on the bridge. He's frustrated. Might even be looking specifically for Abby and Libby. We don't know that. There's still really no tie between Richard Allen and Snapchat. Can you believe that? It's almost a given in the back of your mind. Like somehow he's just connected to the Snapchat stuff. But yeah, there's your Betsy Blair Bridge guy right there. It's just a snap photo, just a snapshot in your mind. You don't know who Richard Allen is. You're just seeing a guy who might be looking up like he is now. The perfect lighting. And also the bridge guy, he may have even shaved his goatee off. It could be stubble like it is here. And what's interesting is the only time you really see him shaved low like this is right around the time that people were telling me that him and Kathy were having problems. Right. Makes you wonder what he was up to. The closest thing that we have to Rick and something going on with the internet is Kathy reporting that somebody hacked into her deceased brother's Facebook and referred to that person as a monster. She's, like, I wonder who that could be. I wonder who that was. Who was the monster? Who could this monster be? I think we know now. Right. Mr. Young Bridge Guy sketch. Poofy hair, my ass. It's a fucking stupid beanie cap. Right. If you just looked at somebody 50 yards away, no way you should have this much detail. Right. Fucking teardrop tattoo. Who was it? Sonny Justice with the mole. Fucking moles and shit. But yeah, there you go. Young guy right there. Same day. Right. There's Ricky right there with his double chin and his weird jowls and his bug eyes. But there's that beanie cap, that skull cap. Probably what he was wearing right here. Anyways, yes, long weekend. We got a dog, husky pitty called Pisky. That's cute. Husky pitty. Sounds like it might be a little aggressive, but probably super cute. He's got wolf eyes, lion body. Oh, you're gonna have to trim him up like a lion. How's the baby? I know you're loving this time. Yeah, it's great. We had a doctor's appointment today. He had to get some vaccines, so you know how that goes. But he took it like a champ. When he was thinner, he looked young. Yeah, here, let's go pull up some of these old photographs. Like when he was hanging right around the time around November, apparently he was like him and Kathy were kind of split up, which is interesting. Or I wouldn't say split up, possibly open marriage is what I was hearing. Don't quote me on any of this, you guys. This is all just hearsay, you know. Don't go quoting me. You hear what Sleuth said about Kathy, that motherfucker? He doesn't know their love. Easy, brah. Pump the brakes. Shit, let's just go through all of these. Here's a good one. Hey, lady that works the perfume counter. Get a picture of this. Betsy sounds like my mom with the bathroom walk schedule. Like, ah, shit, I got like a small bladder. Like, how do you drink a lot of fluid, but then you have a small bladder? And you're a girl. Looks like he has a beard in that one on the right. This one, but do you see how it's trimmed? This is how I picture him on the bridge right here. Maybe with some stubble, like a 3-day stubble. That stupid beanie cap. So this was November 2016, and this was December 2016. The Ted Bundy of Indiana. I've always wondered if her brother had the keep me logged in button on Facebook. Then Rick got in it. Yeah, remember he was staying there at that home. So this is what I was told from family members. And just by saying that, Kathy's like probably like, I know who that is. I know who he's talking about. That bitch. You know, or something like that. But they took turns. Johnny Walker passed away. He died in a motorcycle accident not far from where he lived, not really far from Canal Street. Like he kind of worked down the road from the Klein residence. So I think he was about 36, 37. Got into a really bad accident. I think he even had a passenger on with him. He wasn't wearing a helmet. He might have given it to her. Um, he went to the hospital for a while. Like he suffered really bad. It was a really bad deal for Kathy, right? It would be for anybody. She did not take it well, but when that happened, somebody had to step in and fill this void which was people who were kind of looking after the mother, Kathy's mom, not Rick's mom, Kathy's mother, and that was Johnny's job, from what I was told. So the cousin and Kathy and Rick and I think another relative or friend all kind of shared the responsibility. That's how I knew that Rick was in Peru that morning. Remember, nobody knew that. So, I mean, I always feel like these sources are good. I feel like that's proof. Um, so yeah, before that was ever made public, I knew that he was there. So if Rick's over there at the mom's house where Johnny Walker used to live, and Kathy's wondering who hacked into her computer, that could go right to what you're saying, Redfoot. I've always wondered if her brother had the keep me logged in button on Facebook. So Rick's there. He had opportunity. What was he doing? I know what I was told he was doing, but I think we've had enough rumor and hearsay for one night. Yes, I'm now wondering if Kathy's brother is the link to the Kleins. I don't think so. He seems like a really sweet guy, but yeah, he could be. He could be, right? Rick picks up where he left off on a laptop, on a computer, or something, but I don't think so. I think he may have just been bleeding over possibly what he was doing with the Anthony shot stuff onto taking advantage of a situation, perhaps. Or it wasn't Rick at all. But I mean, it's just funny that he had access to it and she went on Facebook and called him a monster. Whoever did this is a monster. And come to find out, she was married to a monster. Like probably the worst monster that ever stepped foot in Delphi. Definitely one of them. Well, I don't know if he's worse than Kurtz. Close. Yeah, probably just as bad, if not worse. That picture he has that white neck gaiter on. I know, that's what I was saying. Like, what the fuck? It's like a scarf or something. I think it's a scarf that he tucks in. But yeah, it could be a gator. But that's it right there. Yeah, we did a live stream on that when this picture first came out. I mean, how much clearer does it need to be? Fuck. What's up, Frederica? Frankmeister, what up? My son lives in Lafayette. I hate it because Indiana gives me the creeps. Sorry, natives, but all these creeps they found. Oh, don't worry, caricature. All you got to do is take that microscope that you have over there on Delphi and just put it right over where you live. Have fun with that. Trust me, nobody is safe. That's what this channel is all about. Trying to kind of get that through our thick skulls. Could even be in your own household, at your job site. Could be your local law enforcement, right? Oh, I'll solve the homicide for you that I just committed. Sure, I'll get right on that. Leads. What is it? The Big Lebowski. He's like, man, you got any clues or leads? He's like, yeah, we'll go back to the crime lab. Leads. True, but I'm blindly ignorant right now. Luna, what's up? Right. There's young Ricky. He's short. Betsy's a little bit older. Maybe she just assumed. Right. He's a little bit shorter, maybe clean shaven, just the right lighting, just a snapshot. Boom. Yeah, I thought he was young. Young Ricky. Something happened to his nose. Here. And it looks like it goes like this. Very curious as to what that was all about. This was a photograph of Rick when he got loose at the Supreme Court. They heard AC/DC coming over the intercom, and he just burst in there. Detectors, Citizen E22. Are you related to E40? We got 5 more detectors. Damn right, you got 5 more detectors. All of these detectors are on the case. Yeah, when does that usually start? I'm thinking maybe 10, 10, 11, 12. And do girls normally do that? I know that most of the crusher cases that I've covered are always involve women. That seems to be more of a women thing. But when we look at women serial killers, I wonder if they did that too. You know, the whole McDonald triad thing. Boston's in the building. What up, Boston? Boston. Or is it Baston? Frederica, I'm freezing sleuth. It's 9 above. See, you got to look on the positive side. It's 9 above. Just think about if it was 9 below. Where would you be? You're 9 up. You know what I mean? Pretty sure it doesn't matter at that temperature. You gonna freeze to death. Miss Candy, where the hell you been? What up? Vicarious Vigilante. Just crept in through the back door. Hey now, I've been practicing the intro for Thunderstruck all damn day. Thunderstruck. Shit, that one's badass. I love AC/DC. Baston. It'll be 9 below through the evening. Jeez. Hell no. Is the baby crawling yet? More inchworming, Vicarious. More getting his inchworm on. But we're working on it. He likes to work. He's all right. Let's get some working. Show me how these damn legs work, Dad. Bam, 6 degrees here. See, you're over there crying about 9 degrees. And over here we got 6. Yep. I mean, somebody has to do it, Miss Candy. Who else is going to do it? And sometimes you have to kind of come together with people. Like, hey, I need help. Otherwise, something bad's going to happen. Broken hip or something, you know. Sometimes that's all it takes is a broken hip. That's what happened to my grandma. She broke her hip, and I think in like 2 weeks she had passed. It was awful. Homemade chicken noodles. Damn. I bet it was steaming. Oh, don't say that around Rick. Don't mention that. You come running like a dinner bell. Oh, this is when I first heard the news right here. First screenshot of Richard Allen. Today is the day. Richard Allen, time for you to pay for what you have done to these 2 little girls. I think this came out on a Friday and his press conference was on a Monday. I could be wrong. I wonder what that is. Oh my gosh. It's an F. It's a shit F. Look, it's a shitty F. Do you have a picture of Richard Allen and his wife hiking? Yeah, I think so. Is that the jacket? I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be his Carhartt. Hold on a second. Ooh. That sounds yummy. She's like, fuck it, let's order pizza. I'm down. I'm down. All right, there we go. No, this is in the mall. It's in a mall waiting room. And this kid over here kind of looks like Patrick Westfall's little boy. Maybe too young. But wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, this is in a waiting area or inside a store in a mall. This is like right after Thanksgiving. They're doing like shopping, Christmas shopping. So this is what Rick looked like just about a month and 2 weeks before he killed Abby and Libby. It looks like a dog. Nope, it's a shitty F. Stands for wet farts. Rick's favorite. Shelby, what up? Let's see. What do you guys think? Cheese pizza, hand tossed, home goods? Yeah, I think they're in Lafayette. Yet people with no knowledge of trials went searching. Sounds like a beginning of a novel. They were warned of the bloodlust. Yet people with no knowledge of trials went searching. But what they found was far from what they were looking for. That cup looks like it's from which? Oop, DNA. He left his DNA all over the place. Oh, this is another theory that I was talking about. This kind of falls into the whole burner phone theory, right? Gets his burner phone from old fat incel Kagan Klein. Right? Why doesn't anybody love me? Because you smell like shit and you have zero personality and you're disgusting. Sometimes it's just inevitable for some people. So you got Rick parked over here, most likely backed in. So I should fix that. He's on his tub of lard phone, and he's just logged in over here to the free Wi-Fi of McDonald's. He's going to town. Huashuka? What did you just call me? Um, is that Florida? Why does that sound familiar? Huashuka. South of me? Well, you can't get much more south of me. Oh, Huachaca? Huashaca? No, I've never been there. I've been to Juarez and I've been to Tijuana. I had a drill instructor that came from there. Okay, so this is something they posted up. And I actually called CVS that morning. So the morning that Rick was arrested, later that day, I called in. It was either later that day or the next morning. And I didn't ask any direct questions. I was just like, so what's the atmosphere like over there? And they're like, oh, everything seems to be fine. I was like, oh, okay, everything's good since the news. They're like, yeah, everything's in working order. We're open. Did you know Kagan Klein username Anthony Shots? He wasn't the only one to use that. Someone else had access to it. Two people used his account. Two, that's it. Who's the other guy? Huashuka. Bro, I don't know why you keep calling me names. I thought we were cool. I'm not sure what I did to you. It was so obvious in Tom's interview that Andy is so blinded by the Odinist that he doesn't even know all the obvious signs providing Richard Allen's guilt. I don't know. I always feel like the real conspiracy theory is between the Rosies, right? If you have Nick trying to cover up something to do with the Delphi murders, or just even take control of it so they can prolong it, right? Let's go ahead and milk this thing for all it's worth. Shit. Let's prolong it. We didn't kill the girls. Doesn't mean we can't use it, you know? Never let a good tragedy go to waste. Let's milk this shit. So, Nick, Judge Goal, and Rosie come together and plot and scheme, right? It was Goal that was, it was Diener that left, and then they put Goal on. And then it was Goal who put on Rosie, and it was Rosie who picked Baldwin. Why did he pick Baldwin? Probably because he knew he would do what he does best, and that's what he's doing right now. Right? Rosie ain't talking about this case. He ain't thinking about this case. He's like, this shit's over with. But Baldwin's like, no, I'm gonna fight the good fight. Rosie's like, and that's why I hired you. Right? If this was some kind of weird conspiracy. You know, anybody can be a useful idiot. All you have to do is be yourself. And that might just be what they need. So it's not like you're some idiot. You're not a dumbass. You're just a useful, that's just a term they use. You're a useful idiot. I'm going to hire you to be what you are, which is a great attorney and somebody who's extremely passionate and open minded and somebody who will not give up until the very, very, end. That's what I need so I can go do whatever I want to do. And I'll leave you lost in the matrix that you didn't know I brought you into. And the only reason I even entertained that weird theory is because it was Rosie's brother who was also a cop who apparently lost the marathon gas station footage. It just makes you wonder, like, what the hell's going on here? And why would they kick the FBI off the case the same day On Kagan Klein's anniversary. Kagan Klein was arrested and confessed the same day, 1 year apart, August 19th. No wonder he can't accept the decision. Absolutely. Sleuth did lives on that, Luna. Oh, yeah. People only really see the Delphi lives we do, and we're always going to talk about Delphi because Delphi, either way you look at it, Abby and Libby's case is a good case study for anything, right? Corruption, possible corruption, the way cases should and should not be handled, the difference between local, state, and federal law enforcement, the dangers of online predators, and how you can be swimming in all of this danger and still that's not the killer, possibly, right? Like you're here to tell me that these predators were surrounding the victim and that they weren't even responsible for the murder. Some other sick, sadistic piece of shit somehow came in there and committed the murder. Like, Jesus, what kind of cesspool are we living in? Yes. Looks like we get pizza for dinner. But yeah, I think there was a ring of pedos and Richard Allen went off the deep end. Could be. There's a recipe for disaster. I know it's hard to try to fathom how the assistant manager at CVS could commit a double homicide like this when he has his own family and he doesn't have a criminal history and he seems to love his wife and people don't they just can't understand it. The reason we can't understand it is because it could happen to any one of us, I think. Right? If you have the right ingredients for this disaster, that's all you need. I think that's what was going on with Rick. And that's what I found during my investigation. Right? There was a lot of issues that he was having in 2016. His daughter not only graduated from college, but out of the home, right? And now getting married. She was getting married in 2017. The murderer of Abby and Libby was at his own daughter's wedding before the end of that year. You want to talk about financial stress? Stress? Wait till your daughter says, "Dad, I'm getting married." Whose responsibility is it to pay for a wedding? Traditionally, does anybody know? Can you tell me in the chat? Anybody tell me? Brother-in-law just passed away. Poor Johnny Walker suffering in that hospital. All those medical bills, cost of a funeral, all those Ball State bills coming back from college. Man, wife Kathy's self-medicating, becoming distant from Rick. There was even rumors of like infidelity or attempted or lots of flirting or frustration because of it. But don't quote me. What does it mean by the title special judge goal? Well, she had to be assigned to it. Like it wasn't in her district. Like she's special to the case. The person who should have handled it has recused himself. So where do we go? Well, we need a special judge. Somebody who's headed to the Supreme Court. So if they assign her, right? And Nick already stepped in, right? He kicked out the old prosecutor, Robert Ives, right? He's like, "You got to go, dude. Like this is some serious shit. We're taking over." Right? Shane Evans comes in. Boom, they got total control over everything. Get rid of the FBI. Let's get Kim Riley out of there. This motherfucker. All right. He can't remember anybody's name and he's too honest, right? You're out of here, Kim. We're gonna bring in Doug Carter. I think he even has like a degree in theater or some shit like that. Something interesting. Let's just put him out there in front and he'll act like he knows everything and he's in control of this and control over that. Man, he didn't know shit. He was just there to keep us quiet, right? While they were ignoring information about Rick Allen. It's being passed back and forth. Nobody even cares about it, right? Nobody cares about Dave McCain. But yet, here we go with Doug Carter scratching his head and going, "Oh, oh my God, be patient with us." It's like, all right, man, we were patient. The entire world was trying to figure out what the hell happened to these two girls, and how do we prevent it from happening to our own kids? Yet we're no closer to understanding any of it. All we really understood is how corrupt federal, state, and local law enforcement can be, how twisted the media can be, how sick YouTubers can be, but we still don't really know anything about what the fuck happened to Abby and Libby. Sorry. Not sure where I went there for a minute. But I'm back. Grizz. What up? What up? I hear that she's going to retire at the end of the year. I heard she was going to the Supreme Court. Like it's already like a done deal. That right now it's just like some kind of transitioning. But I could be wrong. Um, this was Rick's final meal, right? Wants his paper. Shred up my discovery and serve it to me. I don't know, what is that? Tartar sauce, ketchup? Well, not tartar sauce, but what the hell is that shit called? Hex, what up? He looks like a reptilian right here. Is Richard Allen in death row? Pretty much, yeah. Death Row Records. Rick's mom looks like a hard woman. Remember he was crying on the phone to her? And she was like, yeah, anyway, motherfucker. Go cry to Kathy. He's like, oh, yeah, you don't play that shit. He's like, anyway, I'm going to try to call Kathy later. She's like, yeah, you got the wrong one. So this company, I think, that owns the property of this building, I think was just out taking photographs with a drone, from all sides of the building, and they caught Rick. And I found this photo, I think not too long after he got arrested. But now I think it's circulating. It's crazy what you can find when you actually spend time looking. All you see is a giant jowl. Fucking weirdo. Grizz says, chill and slow. Hope all is well, G. All is well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Good, good. Hex. I do think Richard Allen is guilty, but there's too many unanswered questions to unalive him. Oh, absolutely. Makes you wonder why he wouldn't say. He hasn't said anything. Like, what's going on, Rick? You just want to like knock on his head. McFly. Highway 66, Arizona, famous highway. That's where Chelsea Grim disappeared from. Last seen at the Aztec Motel. Oh, here's a good photo. This is also from around that time. Look, he looks even different right here. This is the bridge guy right here. This is him. This is the guy that was on the bridge, drunk, thinking he's cool, right? Liquid courage. Everybody says, well, how do you know Rick smokes? Well, he's got a pack of Marlboros in his hand or in front of his face, right? But yeah, there you go. There's your bridge guy. If you don't know, now you know. Oh, another pack of cigarettes. Those look like what are they called? Indians, some shit like that. There's Rick's dog. Man, if only we could talk to this little fella. Bet he would tell us everything. Fucking smashing them. Oh wow. Interesting how you wear your pants there, buddy. Awfully familiar. Yeah, I said it. Fucking bug-eyed freak. People seen him on the trail at that time, and he admitted to being on the bridge, just seeing the girls on the bridge when he was there. This is Rick's updated photo over in Oklahoma. This is his cell. This is an actual photo of his cell. So they have him behind like a glass barrier, and he has all these strange drawings up. You can see Andy and Rosie. Fran's done. Luna says Fran's done. She's done skis. What did multiple MIGs say to you? And then Baldwin had to come running back. Before I started following, I always thought that the drawing with the curly hair was supposed to be the person that said he was waiting for his dad. Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on with the Klein narrative, if you believe Reese. Finding his bullet was also considered real evidence and not just circumstances. It was proven 100% to be a bullet from his gun. Absolutely. Yep. This is not your grandfather's ballistic analysis here, right? We're using top notch, top of the line, high tech shit. The same technology, believe it or not, is getting people out of prison, which is a good thing, right? So I know why people are skeptical of it, but the technology that made people skeptical is not being used anymore. And if you understand tool marks at all, you would understand firing the weapon and that somehow making it match more. I mean, you must be a fucking magician. All right. Something's not quite right here. I mean, statistically, it would already be a miracle if you found a match. Right? Let's say they match it to Rick's gun, and the chances of it not belonging are astronomical. Okay. So now imagine trying to recreate those and firing the gun and somehow that magically made it match. Jeez. If anything, firing the weapon is going to make it harder to match. Luna says that pick is from Westville. No, this is the Baltimore State Hospital for the criminally insane. Yeah, that's where this pick is from. Baltimore State Hospital for the criminally insane. Oh, I got you. I hate soul suckers. I still get spooked every time I watch the video of Kathy surprising Richard Allen in the car. He looks so angry. Yeah, maybe he was on his little burner phone trying to hide it inside of a book. They said it was as good as a fingerprint. All the fuck, you know, they're they're stupid in that courtroom. Those dummies, those idiotic stupidies. Or at least I thought that's what I heard explained a few months ago. Mary, I'm glad I'm not the only one. His eyes bore into my soul. Wallace said his eyes popped out at one point. Oh, jeez. Ah. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be poop eaters. Oh, did the research and Judge Gull is retiring. Did you? Did you do all of the research? All of it? Mary, what's up? I would love to know what all was on that phone. He got rid of it for a reason. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy. Honey, baby. I ran over my razor with the lawnmower. Stupid me. Oh, don't worry, honey. We'll go get you hooked up. Yeah, Richard Allen did ruin that song. It's crazy how things like that happen. It's crazy. Yeah, so flat footed, he's really short. 5'1", 2, 3, 5'4". Fucker make me feel tall. Richard Allen had all the mobile phones he had owned previously to that one. Well, yeah, it was just an accident, Hex. He can't help it if he accidentally drops his phone and he runs it over with the lawnmower. He would have loved to have added that to his treasure trove, right? His little pack-rattery. It was just an accident, right? It's just an accident that there's no possible way you will ever test this device. Ever. Even if you got your hands on it. And he probably didn't even get it chopped up in the lawnmower. He probably just destroyed it. Showed her like all the pieces, like, oh my God, look what happened. She's like, damn, our lawnmower is that fucking good? Turned it into powder and burnt it? Like, what the hell? Yeah, it's the blades, they're spinning so fast it causes combustion, typical stuff. You wouldn't understand. Sleuth, do you think that the prosecution held back some evidence knowing there would be an appeal as a strategy, sort of? No, I think they held back evidence that didn't have anything to do with Richard Allen and the story that they were trying to portray. Remember, they're playing a very careful game. They believe, and this isn't me. Forget what I feel about the Kleins. They believe that the Kleins are in cahoots, in coercion with working in coercion with Richard Allen. They believe that they are connected. Law enforcement absolutely believes that. They just can't prove it. They got nothing to show for it. So, in order to keep the jury from getting distracted, and you want to keep them focused on the fact that Rick, right? We can't prove that anybody else was involved. We know it in our gut. We know it with every fabric of our being. Can we prove it in a courtroom? No, we can't. So if we bring it up, the defense will eat us alive. So now we have to kind of steer this in a certain direction. That direction is Rick did this all alone, because if they don't paint that, he's going to get off because they know he's involved. They got his bullet. Nobody's been able to debunk that, right? His Richard Allen's defense team didn't even test the bullet. They didn't even do their own analysis. Why would they do that? Because they knew it was going to fucking match. It was probably going to be better than the one that they did, that the prosecution did. So they have to kind of create this vision for this unbiased crowd, right? Like, hey, look, don't listen to the outside noise. Here's Rick. He's the guy on the bridge. He said he's there. We can put him at the crime scene, and now we have his confessions. Here's his voice, right? Nobody's willing to help him argue against it. Rick's not even able to argue against it. The jury said, all right, that's him. Boom, done deal. So you have to ask yourself, well, why would Rick not even talk? He's not going to say anything. He's not even going to apologize. He's not going to confess. Like, what the hell's going on here? Mary says, yes. This will be our 5-minute warning, by the way. Yes, Holman for sure. And it sounds like it drives him crazy that he can't prove it. Yeah, he's pissed. He's pissed, and that's why he was so angry with Rick during that interview between Holman and Rick. Was because he's like, look, dude, I have you. Like, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna learn that this is it for you. But there's no reason for you to go out like this, right? You're going to go out like a chump, like a coward, right? You're just going to go out like you didn't actually do this. And he's like, yep. And that's what a real coward would do. That's what a real coward would do. Anybody with any class or any bit of attachment to God would just say, yeah, I owned it. I fucked up. This is my penance. This is where I'm going, spending the rest of my life in prison. And it's not over there for me, right? That's my punishment here on earth. I face another one after. But that's not what he's doing. He's using God as a tool for manipulation. He's refusing to tell the truth when it's obvious to the majority of the world that he's involved in this, if not the main guy, right? But for whatever reason, people seem to want to go to bat for him. And I think their hatred for law enforcement and their distrust for law enforcement, which is healthy. I just want to say that right off the bat. It's healthy. But you don't want to let it overshadow anything, right? Like facts and the truth, right? Don't allow your hatred and your mistrust in law enforcement to overshadow the fact that there's solid evidence tying Rick to this case. And if you can't find anything else, at some point you got to put up or shut up. Even I know that. So get to putting or get to shutting. Oh, here's the pharmacy at CVS. Look what they got right here. A fucking picture of the scum bucket right here. Oh man, I bet he got off on that. I'm so smart. Jeez. Think this was a blurry photo I took to compare it to the bridge guy. Rick getting fucked up at the pool hall. What's going on, Michelle? Mary C. It's good to see everybody. But I got to get some food in my belly. Oh, look, here's Rick. Somebody taking a video of Rick from the same angle as Libby did on the bridge. Look how tall he looks. Isn't that interesting? He looks like about 5'8", 5'9", right there. Even kind of slender. Let me show you a photo from the same day. Looks like a fucking midget. Same day. So if you walked by and saw this guy, and then law enforcement brought you this guy and said, "Hey, is this the guy you saw?" Hell no. The guy I saw was a wee little guy. That is what a camera angle will do. Isn't that crazy? Same day. Right? Man, he's so tall. He's 8 feet tall. It's Ron Logan on Patrick Westfall's shoulders. I tell you, I know it. He's got a midget in his backpack. Oh, wait. It's a midget with the backpack. Yeah, this looks like the bridge guy right here. It's from the same angle, right? Remember, Libby was a little bit ways off of the bridge. Oh, yeah, he's getting fucked up. He's drinking like me when I was in my 20s. Yeah, look at this right here. All right, you guys be cool. Pizza guy's here. I got to go take care of that. Replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment. We'll get back to you. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. I'll see you on the next one. Be there, be square. Peace.